In today's fast-paced business world, reliable logistics is key to success. That's where PC and FS Logistics come in. With a comprehensive range of services including air, sea and domestic transport, as well as secure warehousing, we've got your supply chain covered. From origin destination, our expert team ensures your goods are handled with care and delivered on time, every time.
Welcome around the footballers, guys. We're around the world tonight. We're in Italy, we're in England, we're in Sydney, we're in Melbourne, and one guy's missing right now. We've got to give him this right now. There you go. Check it out, Mr. Kenny Wilson. You better hurry up. I should be yellow first, but anyway, the red could be coming to you. Here we go. Check it out. Hup. Here we go right now. The cup of life, of course. Here we go. Hup. Let's do it. Hup. Let's do it, man. Hey. The cup of life. This is the one. Now is the time. Don't ever stop. We should've known. Gotta be strong. We should've known right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it, Carlos. Here we go. I see it in your eyes. You at the cup of life. Night the days here, you're gonna get it. Do you really want to do Loui? Carlos, Angelo, Craig. We are the people, we are the passion, we are the history, guys. Tonight we're making history. We're going from one side of the world to the other side of it. Of course, we got special guest Loui Kastanos from President of Brunswick City. Welcome, Loui. And of course, Craig Hawkins from the South Leeds Football Club, the junior one. Thank you, boys, for joining us. And of course, our regulars, Carlos, and of course, Angelo. Missing one more, but then it's a yellow card. The next time it's a red card for that bloke, but who cares, whatever. But let me say right now, double yellow. We got to get the green cards are coming. The green cards I've heard as well are coming as well. It's the other thing too. But let me say, Craig, welcome right now to, of course, down here in cold Australia, where you got your summer over there right now in Europe. I tell you what, mate, you said something before about you created your own club and your junior club, and you're the director there. Tell us a little bit about your club.
So, me and a couple of friends were based at another club. We got together one evening, decided to create South Leeds Juniors with some great friends of mine, and that's how we all started up. We wanted a bit more for our kids, like in terms of what we want them to do development-wise, where we want them to play. And for me, a big thing that I wanted some nice kits for my kids to play in. I wanted a different kit each season, and basically the things like that, kits and football, there's loads of things you can do for kids out there at the minute in football.
And it's amazing that you've only been around for since 2023, is that right?
Yeah, 2-3 years now. This is going into our third or second year now. We've now brought in an under-7s team and an under-14s team, I believe, we've brought in this season. So we're slowly building up.
It's amazing you say that, because a lot of clubs in Australia, when they want to start, there's always some kind of red tape. And Carlos, I'm saying, Loui might say there's a lot of red tape to be able to get through. So how long did it take you to get this club going?
It wasn't too long, to be honest with you, because we already had financial backing. Unfortunately, as it comes to, it's always down to the money side of things in junior football in UK. If you have the sponsors and the backing, anything's possible. You need the money to be able to do things like you pay for your grounds, your goals, the kits, and so on. So luckily, we've got some amazing parents with South Leeds Juniors. And again, it's down to them as well, not just us as coaches, but down to every parent that wants to help us out, give money and back us a club. And we had it, and as soon as we found a pitch, we got that. We got help from a school, Hunslet Car Primary in England. They were on board with us, and we joined forces together, and we've got an amazing facilities over here. So again, if you have a team of amazing people that want to do anything, anything's possible in football.
Carlos, that's amazing, because I tell you what, to be able, and I'll bring Loui on a sec too. I mean, to be able to start a club and that quickly, Carlos, this is very hard over here, very hard for us. Carlos, here comes Kenny. How are you, Kenny?
Gentlemen,
the question is, did you feel that mainstream clubs were neglecting that part of South Leeds? Why do it? Was it just a neglect, or there was something missing in the junior setup, Craig, that you decided we're going to create a new club? from scratch?
It's just myself, I have my own way of how I want to do football. So did a few time. At the time when I was at another club, I wanted a player who was really good to go play his own development at the year above. I was told by the club at the time that he couldn't play there because he had arguments in the past with my parents. But that was a main factor, because if you're good enough for me, you should be playing at that level. Where when I played at my age, I played 2 years above what I was because I got told I was good. So I see a kid in the UK, if I think you're good enough, why should I play you with an under-8s team where you're not learning or benefiting? Oh, go push yourself and go higher and have a little go at somewhere else. Develop, learn. And that was one of the main reasons as well, just to give another side of football the way that I wanted to do it as well, with the lads that we all came on. We all had the same idea, and we just really wanted to give the kids a massive push and a better experience. Not saying the club we were at before, we had a bad experience, just the way we wanted to do things in our own mind, what we wanted to give our kids.
Loui,
So what's the DNA of your club? What's the DNA, the foundation or the ethos or DNA of your club that you want to be seen as the club to go to?
The club to go is, we want to, or most importantly, let the kids have fun. Have fun with their mates, have a laugh. And massively, I want the kids to improve. And then for me personally, what I did this season, I want you to create amazing memories with your friends. So when you retire, like I previously retired a couple of years ago, what I now do is look at my mantelpiece. And then when you look at that trophy, you've got a memory and photos with friends. That is something that I want to do with my kids. Just when you retire, like I've done, just sit there and look at them amazing memories that you got with your friends. That's the foundation. Create great memories, have fun, and you massively improve on your football.
I just want to bring Loui. Loui, being a president of the club in Melbourne, I mean, this is so easy. It seems to be easy to do something in England compared to Victoria, Loui. So how do you see the differences?
Yeah, a couple of interesting points. One, here in Melbourne in particular, councils are unwilling to bring in more clubs because of lack of facilities and grounds available. So there's a stronghold by, the local municipality. That's what we can do. But something you said earlier, which I found it very interesting, you rely a lot on sponsorship. Now, do the kids at that junior level pay fees? Like here in Melbourne, pretty much every child that plays pays fees. And those fees range, depending on which club you're at, and what level your club's at. I mean, how does it work over there, out of curiosity?
It's the same. You pay, we call it subs over here. So you pay subs like so much a month, or you can pay it yearly. You can pay all if you won some off. But yeah, you have to, even as a coach, I pay. It's part of being a new club. So everyone, you have to chip in for being a new club. So everyone pays subs, and it was the same when I used to play. You pay your subs to play. And it's a tradition in UK, you pay to play basically. But I don't think we've got any complaints from parents because they're all on board, and I think the level of coaches we've got at our club from under 7s to under 14s are all great lads.
And also, I know what subscriptions, you call them subs, the same over here, but is there anything you could tell us how much the parents are paying a year at your club?
It's not too bad. It's about £150 UK last year.
What?
Which isn't, yeah. So if you divide that by 10 months, it's nothing. So it's nothing. It's nothing, though.
Let me say one thing, and Loui, we only wish, is that right? Do you know, can you tell him how much the parents are paying in Victoria, and those subscriptions in Victoria, they go elsewhere, is that right, Loui? So can you please tell Craig what they're paying in Victoria? Oh my God, you're going to have a shot, Craig?
We're probably paying about, for that sort of age from 7 to 14s, they vary between $700. So say half of that in pounds, right through to $1,200. The 13s, 14s are paying $1,900 to $2,000.
Craig, there you go.
Almost £2,000.
What do you say to that, Craig?
It's quite extortionate compared to what we charge our kids. I don't think our parents would complain if they ever put it low.
Angelo, I think we got to get Craig to start some clubs here in Australia. If they're charging that much, Angelo, my God.
Yeah, no, I doubt that he'll be able to do that in Australia. There's absolutely no way. I mean, even in Italy, as we mentioned on other shows, it's a lot easier. But in Australia, there seems to be a money generation exercise rather than find a kid, a talented kid. I think we've lost our way to somewhat in Australia, and we mentioned since we lost the Institute of Sport. And what's happening is that the MPL club, the amateur clubs now are starting junior setups, and they are charging so much money from the families. And I think this is so wrong, because one day we're going to get caught out. And what's going to happen is kids are going to drop out of academies, kids are going to drop out of teams, junior teams. And, right now we can still boast that we have the most participative kids from the age of 6 to 14. It's the problem we have after that we lose a little bit of market. But I think the costs that Craig has mentioned is an excellent point. And then, of course, Loui, we know what's happening in Australia. I think that it's very sad. I don't want to be negative. I just want to be factual about it. I think right now, the families are paying far, far too much to have their kids playing football. And, you mentioned AFL, to be a member, $200. I mean, in nowadays when everything has gone up, post-COVID, we've had fees going up. We've had, like all sorts of fees, just sky high. And I think that the clubs, I mentioned Adelaide City. I asked one of my friends that's on the board of management at Adelaide City Football Club, not Angelo Carossa. I mean, the fees are around about the same as what Loui mentioned, $700. And I think if you've got 1,000 kids, there you go, that's $60,000. I mean, $600,000.
Exactly.
And that's sort of used to run the first team. And look, I appreciate what Craig's doing. I really do. But then at the same time, we've got a big problem in Australia that I don't know that it can be solved soon, And I doubt that Craig will be able to do what he's doing in at Leeds, in Australia. I really doubt that.
Kenny, yourself.
I'll give it a go.
I'll bring Kenny on. Of course, Kenny comes from Scotland. He comes from a footballing nation. I mean, Kenny, you've complained how many times about the prices in this country, but have a look at £150, Kenny. What are we doing wrong here?
Yeah, well. Firstly, I just want to check, Craig. Does that include your weekly referees and ground hire, Craig?
No, my level, because I'm under 10s, under 7s to under 10s, and I think it goes up to under 12s. You coach referees, so there's no referee fees at the minute.
Really?
But there's also 14s, where you can pay a course for our coaches to do a referee course as well, or someone in your club to do that. But these coaches, these referee fees further down the line. It used to be when I played £25 a game, but I have been told you're looking between £25 and £50 per game now. So I believe it has gone up.
And excuse me, what about the ground hire?
Say again, sorry?
The ground hire. What about the the pitches? Do you pay separately?
It's easy. I'll be honest with you. The most of our money goes on winter training and winter pitches, because in the UK you do get bad winters. So in the winter you do need to play on 3G, 5G or 4G, whatever they call it these days. Because the grass pitches when you're playing, we've only got one grass pitch for our junior teams, where the under 14s have got their own pitch somewhere else. So when we all play at home, which our fixtures start on the 7th of September, when I check the fixtures, we're all away, and then when we're all at home on the same day. So in the winter time, the pitches are in bad condition, so you can't play on them. So again, it's winter training. It's not just our club. It's 95% of English teams, junior teams that have the same problem. It's all about winter training, winter facilities. That's where all their money goes on. It's a lot of money.
So the 150 you mentioned, that includes the ground hire fee?
Yeah, you get everything. We do get told that sometimes we're probably not charging as much as we should charge kids, but you get everything involved. You get training from coaches, you get kits from sponsors, you get everything. You get a really good deal of our club.
Yeah.
You just mentioned, Craig, that you're getting kits from sponsors. I mean, that's another cost. Maybe that's probably overlooked by yourself. I don't know. You may be able to explain that. But if that is sponsored, if that was not sponsored, would that be a cost that you would add to the parents' fees? Because if you're getting
That's more of a committee thing, if I'm honest with you. I don't get inside. 9 times out of 10, I don't get involved in the cost side of things. I leave that to the people that do that. Yeah, I can't answer that question. It's more, I do more of the coaching side.
Okay.
How many teams play in your comp, Craig? How many have you got?
We've got 3 under-10 teams, 3 sole teams, and we've got 1 under-7s, and now we've just taken an under-14s team on.
And in the actual comps you play, how many teams are in a normal comp?
Oh, in a degree, you're looking between. It depends on league. You have 5 or 10, depending on how many are in that division.
Okay, and your under-7s and under-10s are playing in what, the half pitches or quarter pitches?
Yeah, sorry, the pitches, they're playing. The under-7s play 5-a-side at the minute because it hasn't changed to 3v3. So the 3v3 rule comes in next year. So they're 5v5. We're 7v7 for another 2 years. And then we go to 9v9 when we go into high school.
Sorry, you said 9. Let me just clarify something. You said 9v9 up until what age?
9v9 is high school, so what are the under 10? So that goes into, I think it's under 12s. You change it rules again out there. So it is a little confusing because I thought it would come in this year. It's not, it's coming in next year. So
and then when you go to 11v11, under 12s, under 13?
It should be 2 years after that, I believe, they got 11v11. But this is the problem we've got. They keep changing the rules in the UK. One season you can play heading, one season you can't. One season we play throw-ins, one season we didn't. They keep changing the rules. It's just, I'll be honest with you, as a coach, for me, it gets too confusing. The amount of rules.
When you say they change the rules, this is what the local federations are changing the rule, or just generically?
Generically, it's the FA, innit? The Football League will change them for the whole of the UK.
Yeah, no, I get, under 70, maybe under 10s, playing kick in instead of throw-ins, and I get that, but the heading nonsense would drive me bonkers. I'm sorry. If you get to 11 or 12, when I was 12, I was going on trial with teams like Blackpool and Wolves when I was 12 and 13. You've got to be able to head a ball. You can't seriously be playing football. And I know there's this big question mark about head injuries, etc. But the balls are nothing like what they used to be. Certainly when back in the the early 70s and the late 60s. But by the time you're 12 or 13, you've got to be playing 11v11. Really. You can't be at 13 or 14. You're starting to get too late. From a development perspective, because you just lose that whole concept of what the game is.
Carlos, I want to bring you.
Sorry, Bob. I agree with the heading rule. I agree with the heading rule. It's just it's frustrating because in our games at the minute with the heading rule, you've got kids when the ball's coming to them, they're ducking.
Oh, gee.
And then it's going over, and then the team is scoring because of that. Where if you're in a game, you won't be heading. Same with corners as well. You've got to change your routine of corners. There's no point a kid crossing the ball in the corners at under 10 at the minute because they can't head the ball. So it's very silly on that heading rule. I'd tell you what, that could probably take up a podcast alone, that conversation.
Carlos, yourself, some more for Craig?
Well, I think with the heading of the ball, I think it's work in progress. I think science is developing, but I do agree with Kenny that if you get to 12 and you're unable to hit the ball in any way you can, then you're not developed. But I want to ask Craig, who are your coaching role models? Do you model yourself and Pep Guardiola? And let's talk about Leeds United. And how much did Bielsa change the landscape at Leeds? When we came in, he totally turned things upside down. So how much of his legacy is still felt? And do you like what Bielsa did? Who are your role models in coaching?
Well, for me, that Leeds United thing, I'm not a Leeds fan, I'm a United fan, so that's a bit of an hard question to answer that one.
I'm talking about from a coaching point of view. When Bielsa came in, he revolutionized the game per se, and how much of that legacy is still being felt within like in football in the UK. I mean, Pep Guardiola was Pep. He's Pep. But Bielsa came and just changed things around.
Yeah, with Bielsa, for the football I saw from Bielsa, he basically went all out in his games, didn't he? He never sat back. If you look at his scores in Premier League when he was coaching in Premier League and maybe Championship, he just went for every game. Same thing we do with our kids. Go out and get some goals, have fun. If you concede, go score more goals. That's what Bielsa did in UK. I mean, in Premier League, I think he did get worked out quite a bit, though, didn't he, in Premier League? You've got to have more than one way of playing in Premier League, unfortunately, and you've got to have a bigger squad. But in terms of him, I think he's a great manager from what I've seen him done. There's a lot of shrines in around Yorkshire of him on Wall and everywhere. So everyone, all my family, that are Leeds fans and friends, they all still wear T-shirts of Bielsa as well. So yeah, great manager, great guy.
Loui, I want to bring Loui on. Now, Loui, you're under 10s. You're under 10. How many under 10s do you? Craig, you said you got four groups of under 10s. Is it? You got the four teams?
We've got three. Three teams under 10.
So there's... Go on.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, probably not. Well, we got under 7s, 2 under 8s, 2 under 9s, 3 under 10s, 2 under 12s, 4 under 13s, and then 14s, 2, and 15s, 16s, 17s, 19s, 23s, and our seniors. So we've got quite a lot of teams here.
So
we've been around for a long time now.
Exactly, yeah. So that's the thing.
Yeah,
so Craig, before I bring on Angelo, is there a limit to how many junior age? Let's say you got your 4 groups of under 10s. Do you have a limit to what you can have there, or is it you can have as many as you want in the age groups?
You can have as many teams as you want.
Really?
We've got a team in our league.
Gee.
That I won't say the name because Mike watching, but they've got 10 teams of under 10s in the whole of the league.
10? Gee.
Yeah, I believe between 8 and 10, and we've got one of their teams, and it's furthest travel away from our distance. Well, it's about a 45-minute drive from where we live. So they have a lot of teams, I'm guessing there's not many teams where they're based in their location, to be honest with you. But they have a lot of teams, and they have a good reputation of teams as well, further down the line.
Gee, Angelo, it's amazing how you can have...
Really similar,
Louis?
That's very similar as well.
Craig, I just wanted to ask you, perhaps I missed the point, I don't know, but your club, is it affiliated with the Amateur League, regional teams, or is it affiliated with the Professional Football Association?
It's affiliated with grassroots, so it's down as Garforth Junior Football League. So we're only a grassroots team at the minute.
Okay, so I just want to ask you. Then I've got another question for you. Is that linked with the Professional Football Association? Because under that umbrella, obviously, all of the league teams and the professional club have junior development and have junior clubs, as Loui has in Melbourne, for example. They all come under the umbrella of Brunswick. I just wanted to better understand what kind of structure it is that you formed this club.
In today's fast-paced business world, reliable logistics is key to success. That's where PC and FS Logistics come in. With a comprehensive range of services including air, sea and domestic transport, as well as secure warehousing, we've got your supply chain covered. From origin destination, our expert team ensures your goods are handled with care and delivered on time, every time.
Yeah, it's not a linked team with any professional teams. I mean, like in terms of like your Leeds Uniteds, your Man Uniteds and Man Cities, they do occasionally come to our games, and if they like a kid or anyone, they will take them for a scout or like a trial. And if they like them, they do. I think you have to be, I think it's 9 or 10 in the UK to be signed by the club. I think we've just had one of our goalkeepers go from our Great Whites team to go play for Huddersfield Town. So he just signed professionally for them, I believe, or like a semi-pro contract.
Yeah. Okay. It's definitely a lower age in England than it is in Australia. I mean, in Australia, right now, we have the Australian Institute of Sport where, kids grew via the scientific part of the body as they were growing, and then, of course, the skill side. And then, of course, when they got to about 16, 18, then you would have seen a player progress through the A-League, which is like like the major league in Australia, or the kid would go overseas, as some of the kids have come. Like in Italy, I mentioned on Carlos' show on Saturday that we've got a 16-year-old from Australia that got ignored by Western Sydney Wanderers again. And this 16-year-old, when came over here, played in the junior setup, then within months he played in the first team, Pescara, which is now playing in Serie B. But he actually played for the first team, debuted, and he scored on debut, and now he's over in Roma. And you just wonder why this happens in Australia, because it's happening more and more and more, where kids are getting overlooked. And I suppose in your situation, when kids are 9 or 10, they can see, how they're going to develop. But this kid, I just wanted to mention, he's actually progressed to Roma, where Claudio Ranieri is the chief of football, and of course they've got Giampiero Gasparini that was from Atlanta. But they really, really push youngsters, and this young kid. It's just a sad story that he wasn't picked up by the A-League before he came over.
That's the thing, yeah. So that's so Craig. The other thing I'll ask you before we let you go is: is your club being looked at? Where there's under 14s, you've got your age group, the under 14s, which is the highest group you've got there of the age group. Now, is there any scouts come out and check you out and talk to you about some certain kids? Do they do that as well over there?
I had 2 experiences last year with two of my children where Leeds came and wanted to take an interest. One of them, Leeds, have had him on radar for quite a bit. So they keep coming and checking him out, and the other kid, they're going to keep an eye on him. But they do it across all teams. But I had more scouts coming when they played at under 7s.
Okay.
Funny enough, they come at really early ages here. So they're taken for trials at under 7s and then under 8s, where as under 9s and 10s, as we're going up there, it's been less and less scouts. For some reason, they seem to want them at younger ages over here.
Mm-hmm. And the best thing about this is you got scouts looking at the young kids. Loui, have you ever seen scouts come up to your club at all, at any stage, under young kids? Nothing. Do we get that in Australia? Gee.
Yeah, not that young, yeah. You generally see them at the older kids when, 12, 13, at the state, that they do the state training, through the TIDC and the SAP programs. But, yeah, not very common with the clubs. Unless they're playing in, finals or,
yes,
in trophies.
Yep. Craig, we're going to let you go. Thank you very much for joining us today.
I have one question.
Well, come on,
one question for
Carlos,
Craig.
you got that, mate? There you go. Hurry up.
So, if, say, Leeds comes in and takes a player age 14 and they give him a contract, does your club get any money for developing that player, or how does it work for South Leeds?
I'm not sure. I don't think you do get any money, if I'm honest with you. I just think they take them, and you just basically get your name up in lights. When I'm going off my experience when Bradford City took me as player, my club didn't get anything. They just took me, and I was part of Bradford City. And the contract clause was I couldn't play with my friends in the street. I couldn't play football at school. Basically, I belonged to that club, and I couldn't do anything unless the club gave me permission. It'll change.
Okay. Craig, thank you for joining us today. Fantastic to hear information. Of course, Louie's got some information there from you that we are just mind-boggled about how much you charge the kids compared to over here. Mate, thank you for coming on. Thank you for fantastic information. Thank you, Craig, for coming on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. I'll keep in contact. And I'll come
please
back
keep in contact. We'll get you on sometime again soon. Thank you very much, Craig, for that information.
Harry, good luck with you.
Thank you very much, Craig.
Harry, good luck with the TV show, mate.
Thank you very much, Craig. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Craig. Now, Loui, £150. Now, how much is £150? What is £150 in Australia?
I'll tell you now.
How much? $300? Really? My God.
325.
Oh my God! And they're probably complaining it's too expensive over there. That's the other thing too. Oh my God! This is where we. I think some people will be watching. Anybody out there watching tonight? You must have got a shock watching what we saw and what we heard today about how much they're paying.
But mate, let me just say, there is quite a big difference. Like, for example, our young kids get referees, right? Mm-hmm. It's only our over 35s, over 45s, over 55s that we referee our own games. We've got to get a player that gets that gets a trainee to be able to ref. But predominantly our young kids all get a referee. You want to say young kids, after under 10s, they've all got referees, so they've got to get paid. Obviously, our council's rape and pillages. We pay rates and we pay council rates. We pay all that in our local communities. Then they double dip on us, and we've got to pay again for the use of grounds when we're already paying for that to within wherever you are. It could be where I live in Manly or whatever. So everything's double dipped. Electricity, lights, that the councils pass through the rates. The clubs are then paying that again on top. So it's a little bit of a different animal. It's a bit like in the UK, you get the national health system. It's not free, but it's national health system. We get private health. So it's a different animal.
Jenny, it's a bit of a catch, because when I asked Craig the question about the tracksuits and the kit, which in Italy is around about 150 euros, and it would be in England, it would be about 150 pounds. I would think he was saying that was sponsored. Then I said, well, that's right. Does that come up the cost? And he said no. So if you're talking about 300 pounds, and then as Carlos mentioned, you're talking about around about $500-600, which is around about the same. Now, if you get your kit sponsored, you got to still actually put that in the balance, the cost, because the kids get it for free, but it's also, what if they didn't have the kit? The kids would be saying, well, I might as well join another club, because I'm not doing it.
I was brought up in that system. Historically, all the clubs managed to get it might be a pub, it might be a sports shop. All the local clubs get local sponsors. The balls. Okay. Like my nephew, I've just come back. My nephew runs an amateur club, and they've got the local pub sponsors them. They get sponsorship from some of the sports shops. They go around. Then they run, raffles. They run,
like every other club does. They're not different. Yeah. We do trivia nights. We do canteen. We do the barbecue. We chocolate. Nothing changes. Money's tight everywhere.
Okay, boys, we got to
Carlos, do they have Mars bars at your canteen for the over 55s?
50 Mars bars.
Well,
oh my God, Carlos. One diets, mate.
We don't.
I'm partial to a Mars bar and a cup of tea at half time.
Oh my God.
We're actually in the final, actually.
Oh, finals, really? Oh, boy, no, God, Carlos, don't talk about final. Don't talk about your finals. We got to bring Loui here right now. He's got a massive surprise for us. Maybe we could have been good luck for them this year doing the show there. But I tell you what, Loui,
we were,
and you made the playoffs, Loui. Tell us about the playoffs.
You definitely were, guys. I think having you down here really helped us. Yeah, brought us a bit of luck. Yeah, we finished fifth. Quite well. The first two teams obviously go through. They automatically get promoted, and the third position is a playoff between 3 and 6. And we finished fifth, beating Melbourne City on the weekend 2-0. We're playing finals in 2 weeks against who we got? I've just gone blank. United.
The arch enemy. We call them the arch enemy.
Well, you might get a free pass on that one. You might get through on a fourth. You might get through on a forfeit on that one.
Exactly.
And, Harry, I just want to ask you about our mate. He's done really well to win the MPL2. The MPL George Kastanos, remember?
Yes, he has. Yes. And
you want to mention? Yeah, go on.
Let me say one thing about this too. Is that Melbourne City were on top? Is that right? Is that right? They could have gone through being first. Is that right, Loui? Of course. But then
there were 3 teams. George Cross. Yes, Kastanos, Bentley Greens, and Melbourne City.
We
basically cost Melbourne City promotion.
That's right. And actually, it was Louis' team that actually promoted Bentley Greens. You promoted Bentley Greens when you beat them, which means George.
Kastanos out.
Exactly. Yeah. He's got how are we going to help the Brunswick City now? So the thing about this is that who knows? They may fold in a couple of days. We don't know. That's the other thing. So might be a free trip through to the So how does it work, Loui? There's 2 teams. There's 4 teams there. So you're going to be playing Western United, and so is it? What are those? So then Melbourne City plays
North Sunshine Eagles.
Okay,
North Sunshine Eagles.
So yes.
So the 2 winners will play off. So first round is next weekend, not this one, the weekend after, and then the following week it'll be part of the NPL Grand Final.
Yes.
As a curtain raiser at South Melbourne.
Fantastic.
At Lakeside Stadium. So it'd be great if we can get through and play there, and who knows?
Mate.
Getting promoted to NPL would be, if it was a club like ours, would be absolutely phenomenal.
Massive. And the thing about this is we'll be at the ground. We want to get you guys there so we can get you interview Nick and yourself. Of course, we're going to be on TV at that time. So we've got the stories now to put on TV, which is amazing. Carlos, I'll bring you on.
Oh, thank you.
Okay.
So, look, big news in New South Wales where Spirit FC, the club, it's a fairy tale story because in 2021, they were in League One. They win the Waratah Cup against Sydney United 58. The Waratah Cup is played between the last 4 New South Wales teams that reach the round of 32 in the Australia Cup.
Mm-hmm.
They then get promoted from League One to Premier League in 2022. 23-24, they finished 12th and 10th. And, of course, they have the smallest budget of any clubs. And they just become premiers with 65 points, 66 goals, 29 against. And that's a fairy tale story because it is with the smallest budget. Apia will finish second, 61 points, 70. They set a record, 74 goals scored with 1 game to go. However, they coughed up 35 goals.
Gee.
But Rockdale was the one that faded towards the last 5 rounds. They only picked up 4 points out of 12. They're now 4th on 54 points. And they led the competition till about 2/3, and then the last 5 weeks, absolute disaster for Rockdale. But Marcona will finish 3rd. They're on 59 points. But Spirit FC, it is a fairy tale. And David Perkovic, who had been with Spirit FC for 8 years till last year, had just been given a 5-year extension. So he will be at the club for 13 years. They have a sports psychologist on board, which is assistant coach. So I'm very... And then Australia in the championship against Preston.
Hang on for a sec. Before you say anything, you got to call it the Biscuit Tin, mate. The Biscuit Tin League. Kenny knows that league very well. So the Arnott's Biscuit.
Has Spirit accepted and qualified?
Yes, they have. They have.
They have qualified for the Australian Championship because they on last Tuesday they had the 3rd game against St George City. They beat them 3-0, and that meant the Rockdale couldn't catch them, and therefore they qualified on Tuesday.
I understand that, Carlos. I know they won the league, and they're allowed to qualify. Have they accepted the invitation?
Oh yeah, they are going to Melbourne. They are going to Melbourne. Even if they have to cycle to Melbourne, they are going to Melbourne.
I'll pick them up with my station wagon.
They're going to Melbourne. There's no doubt about it.
Oh my God! And of course, let me just say one thing about the finals. And of course, Loui, you must be watching the finals in Melbourne. What an amazing thing, Loui, about here we go. Auckland are playing. They're playing on the weekend, and that's supposed to be their weekend off for the finals in Victoria. And you know that they actually asked for a weekend off, and they said no, you're playing in the Australia Cup. And then the week after, they're playing the finals in Victoria. So you're talking here, Heidelberg United versus Auckland on Saturday night, and then Avondale playing Newcastle Jets. Have you ever heard of that before? You never heard that before in Melbourne, that the 2 teams, we're really a second division if you look at it. Is that right, Loui? We're like a second division here in Melbourne.
Well, that's right.
So that's the thing.
Heidelberg and Avondale done very well.
I can't believe this.
Daily opposition, so can't take it away from them.
And what we're looking at right now is they're saying here, people are saying, please, the two NPL Victorian teams win to make that final, because what they're saying too is that they'll be playing in Asia. The finalists will be, the guys who win will be playing in Asia. That will be an absolutely, Angelo, that will be an absolute embarrassment to the A-League, and it's becoming that way right now. Angelo?
In today's fast-paced business world, reliable logistics is key to success. That's where PC and FS Logistics come in. With a comprehensive range of services including air, sea and domestic transport, as well as secure warehousing, we've got your supply chain covered. From origin destination, our expert team ensures your goods are handled with care and delivered on time, every time.
Yeah, well, that's probably the same as the New Zealand team that represented the Club World Championships, as Kenny was saying, and it was an absolute, just a shocker, like the criteria, no one knew why, so I think this is a little bit embarrassing.
It is.
In terms of the affiliated club, in terms of the progress and in terms of a stepping ladder, they'll struggle. That team got done 9-0. 9 goals to nil by Bayern. So I think this is what is wrong with the criteria. If there is a criteria, no one knows. I mean, we're getting surprises just about every 6 months, and it's there's also a lack of information for the Australian Championships. I mean, we know it's going to start in October. We know there's going to be 4 groups before. So what is the scope? What is going to happen to a team that wins it?
Let me tell you, Angelo, I sent an email to Football Australia. Guess what they said to me? I've got the email here, and they're saying to me, I said, we need accreditation to go to the games and cover the games, of course. And you know what they said? They said, can you please send us a email closer to when the competition starts? I said, what? They don't even know what's going on. They're not even telling me what's going on. It's ridiculous.
Harry, you've got 4 teams that still haven't been picked up.
It's unbelievable.
There's 4 teams we don't know. We don't know who 4 of the teams are going to be yet.
Well, Bayswater are in.
Well, that's
from Perth. They're in. They've won the competition and they're playing now. Bayswater FC from Perth. They're in. There's the other team, Canberra. The Canberra team is through as well. The Croatian team, I know that as well. So a lot of these guys are coming. A lot of them are coming. But I've got some breaking news tonight here for you guys. And Loui, this will be, if you guys make the NPL next season, there's an opportunity here to play in Asia. In Oceania. Let me read this right now. Football Australia and the Oceania Confederation have signed a new memorandum of understanding to accelerate the growth of football across the Pacific, reinforcing a long-standing partnership and creating new opportunities for collaboration until 2021. And what that means is that South Melbourne will be playing in the Oceania Professional League, and then the Oceania Champions League has an opportunity for an NPL club to play in there as well. Loui, so there you go. So somehow maybe there's a thing that they're talking about for their Champions League. Who wins the championship, champions of every island country will be playing in that thing. So where did Auckland FC, not the Auckland City, we're talking Auckland City here, that played in the Club World Cup, they won that Champions League and they ended up in the Club World Cup. That's the other thing too. So, Carlos, that's opportunities here in Oceania, where and let me say one thing before I get you on. It is about time that the NPL clubs saw something that exactly worth something for them playing in the NPL to be playing in a different competition in Oceania. It's about time, Carlos. It's about time that these clubs are looked after as well.
Well, the memorandum of understanding, which was a press release that I read, does not mention South Melbourne playing in Oceania.
They're in.
Okay, but the memorandum of understanding does not mention that. To me, a memorandum of understanding, it is the exchange of coaches and sending coaches to different parts of Fiji, Solomon Islands, and coaching education. If this Oceania Championship idea comes off, well,
it is.
The more football, the more exposure, the better football you you have, the better.
Remember, there's two.
Now, going back to Australia Cup, I think cup football is totally different beast to any other match. And yes, the A-League clubs chose to field a youth team, and that's their prerogative. But do not take anything away from Avondale and Heidelberg, because they're there on merit. They gave their heart and soul on those games, and they went for it, and they got a result. A-League clubs, Sydney was in it. A couple of refereeing calls went their way, and that's cup football.
Carlos,
so it is. Yes.
Did you
yes,
see?
Harry.
Did you see the penalties at the end? How disgraceful were they? I don't know if Loui saw it. They were disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful. Anybody can think it's some kind of amateur league the way they took those penalties going in. What a joke.
Harry, can I just say something? Carlos explained it exactly how this Oceania thing is. It's a third world development that FIFA are investing money in. It's not an elite competition, and I wish we'd stop pushing it on this program.
We know it's not elite, but
no, please let me finish, because it's starting to irritate the shit out of me now. Because the competition is these third world countries. FIFA are throwing money at it to develop these countries. Carlos was spot on in saying we're going to be sending coaches, we're going to try and help them. We're not even in Oceania, right? But he's spot on. It's nothing to do with South Melbourne going and playing there. And it's nothing to do with any other club going to play there. It's not an elite competition. It's a third world countries trying to develop these young kids and give them a start in life.
Kenny,
that's what it is.
They've put their name up forward. There's one team from Australia, and they're the only ones going in that. They're the only ones.
Look, it's great, and if they allow, we are probably the only country in the world, and the UK is different because they got Welsh clubs in the championship, and this. We're the only country in the world that helps a foreign country improve its football at our own detriment. But that's a conversation for another day.
Exactly.
That we have Auckland and Wellington play in the A-League. But I hope South Melbourne achieves what they need to achieve, and I hope if they get the opportunity, I'm sure they will put the resources that they need to put a good performances all around and give Australian football a decent, a great name.
Exactly. So, Angelo, do you think Oceania, we have a bit to play in Oceania to give the other clubs an opportunity from Australia, because NPL clubs need help? They've only got one way to go. They're going to the, of course, the the NSL Australian Championship. Do you think we need to get these clubs somewhere else to play? I mean, we don't get opportunities for the NPL clubs, and of course, Loui knows the opportunities. There's no opportunities, Loui. Is that right?
Well, you really got. This is where relegation and promotion comes back into the conversation. Whether we can sustain that, whether we've got the money for it, I think that's the only way it could work, and to create a pathway for these other teams to come up. But then those teams come up. Is the money in football today, able to sustain it? I don't know. And I'm not even sure about this whole, cups and etc. I mean, the Australia Cup's a wonderful thing. This whole national second tier, I'm not sure about it personally. It's a tough one. It really is. And I'm not sure how we could work here in Australia. I mean, I've heard you guys talk about it in a lot of detail, and that's just my opinion anyway.
Angelo, yourself?
Oh, look, it's a little bit, I think, counteracting, because, if you remember Oceania, when Australia was part of Oceania and they had that pathway to qualify for the World Cup, and then, of course, Australia but they really pushed and worked really hard to go into Asia. Now Australia has qualified for the last 6 World Cups. Fantastic. But I think there needs to be a criteria with this promotion, of South Melbourne, Heidelberg. As Kenny was saying, there is no criteria promoted or communicated to any of us, especially people that work on radio like yourself, Harry, and Carlos. the people that communicate, that convey information to the fans. We don't really know what's going on. Why is there, South Melbourne, Heidelberg, and, Auckland that qualify for the Club World Cup? We really don't know the criteria, and that's really sad because we really need to know why these clubs are getting promoted, because once these clubs get there, there is a financial windfall. I mean, as Louis saying, being president of a club, you need to know this sort of stuff. And at this stage, Harry, we don't know.
No.
I mean, all we know that it's been about 16 years, that Australia is going through Asia, and then Auckland has been left, New Zealand has been left with Oceania. But all of these promotional and rewarding, I think, pathways need to be communicated with the criteria. We need to know why these clubs get involved in those competitions. And at the moment, I don't know. I don't know whether any of you guys know. I'd like to know.
We all want to know what's going on. But as I said to you earlier about this, of course, they couldn't even tell me that they could give us accreditation to cover the games. And that's one thing about what's going on. So what's his space?
In today's fast-paced business world, reliable logistics is key to success. That's where PC and FS Logistics come in. With a comprehensive range of services including air, sea and domestic transport, as well as secure warehousing, we've got your supply chain covered. From origin destination, our expert team ensures your goods are handled with care and delivered on time, every time.
As they say all the time. Now I want to talk about...
Harry, this is another point. The Australian Championships. You mentioned about, getting a media pass,
Exactly.
to go in and try and cover the game. They can promote it. I mean, we're weeks away.
I know.
From the beginning of the Australian Championships, and no one knows what's going to happen for the club that's going to win it. I mean, they should be promoting it to the death right now. 8 weeks before the kickoff,
Well,
and it's very sad that Harry. I mean,
I know.
This is one of few shows with Carlos that we talk about football.
I know.
Anything surrounding the World Game,
Exactly.
and the media accreditation is important.
And we don't hear it. I know. But I just want to focus right now on the finals in Victoria, and this is absolutely amazing. How many games, Loui, this week in Victoria? Finals games? How many? You're talking about the Australia Cup here between Auckland and Heidelberg. You're talking about Avondale and of course, Newcastle Jets. Then the other finals. So there's all these finals in Victoria. I've never seen so many finals, Loui, from Australia Cup to MPL Victoria. We're talking about here the two Dandenong teams have made it. Of course, they're playing these two elimination finals where you've got also the two Dandenong Thunder. That's played at 7 p.m. on Saturday. Then Sunday, Oakley Cannons versus Preston Lions. That's a massive game. That's 2:30 in the afternoon. So he's disappeared. Angelo's gone. So the thing about this is, Loui, there's that much football this week in Melbourne. We've never seen it like that before. Have you ever seen it like that before? That many finals? Gee.
No, they're the changes that constantly happen, like Football Victoria. The finals, yet good initiative, extend the season, bring more crowds in, create a bit more, entertainment, to call it that. It is exciting, I think. I mean, for us, it definitely is, playing finals and, rather than the top three going up, creating that third position. And obviously that happens in the division below us.
Yes.
So, it's exciting times, I think, and I think it's a good change. But it's hard for the teams that are up there, where three are getting relegated, I think from two we've gone to three now. So it does create a lot more pressure to sustain, to try to stay up.
Yes, so that
and not get relegated.
So the third place playoff, you got nothing to do with the third last team. It's just once you win that competition, you've won the third place, you're up straight away. There's nothing to do with the NPL third last team at all. Is that right? Nothing.
That's right. So automatically your bottom three will drop.
Yes.
To the lower division. Your top two, as I said earlier, automatically get promoted.
Yep.
And 3 versus 6.
It's like the championship.
Yes,
like
yes.
the championship, that's right.
So this is is this a new concept that they're doing this year? Has happened before?
Yes.
It's a new one.
No, it's a new concept this year. Introduced last year by Football Victoria.
So last year with you guys playing, that means where did you guys finish last year? If that was last year, would you have made that at that time? No?
No, we wouldn't have. We wouldn't have.
Okay.
Last year was 2 up, 2 down.
Okay, that's what they've done. So, Carlos, in New South Wales, what's going on there with you with the last 3 teams?
Okay, no, the minor premiers in League One would get promoted.
Yes.
Then the team that finished second, the bottom team drops down.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second last team in League One will play. Okay, so the top team, the minor premiers get promoted, the bottom team gets relegated, and then the second last and second will play off. See, whoever goes, and so the second last team in League One will play the second team in League Two. Either they stay up or the other team goes up. So it's similar to Victoria, but no, it's similar. So it's a great concept because you have League One or Premier League second last playing against the second in League One for survival or promotion. It's great for football, and we still have in 3 p.m. I mean, I'm a great believer in 3 p.m. kickoffs on a Sunday. I know that people in Melbourne do really well on a Friday night with a crowd. It's a different culture altogether. But it is what it is. It's fine at football. Run with it. Enjoy it. It's excitement because it is a dogfight. The most exciting games, in my view, happen at the end when you have promotion and relegation at stake. Because if you drop down from Premier League to League One, you lose money as well because you can't charge $15 per person to walk in. You've got to charge a lot less. So there's a lot of stake. And then the quality of the referees just as good, but you don't get the best. The best referees get nominated to Premier League, and so forth. So it's important that you stay up and do the best to win.
And Kenny, this is the point about the A-League too. See how exciting it is to talk about promotion relegation, how it shows the dynamics of the game. And I know what they're saying about in 2034, that will be the opportunity for the A-League to get promotion relegation. Now, how do we get this to do this faster? As you can see how we're talking dynamics of the game. And we don't have it in the A-League, Kenny.
In today's fast-paced business world, reliable logistics is key to success. That's where PC and FS Logistics come in. With a comprehensive range of services including air, sea and domestic transport, as well as secure warehousing, we've got your supply chain covered. From origin destination, our expert team ensures your goods are handled with care and delivered on time, every time.
Yeah, but mate, you know what? The horse has bolted, mate. We've had this for a long, long time. The issue we've got is that we've got unsustainable clubs in the A-League. No one, no two. There's probably 5 that, if they were running under normal business practices, they're insolvent. Right? Normal business practices, they're insolvent. I mean, we're the only country in the world that would allow Newcastle to be funded by 3 other clubs playing in the 3 clubs in the same comp. I mean, it just makes the comp a laughing stock. Now, we're mentioning earlier on about budgets. I mean, we had Central Coast Mariners with the smallest budget in the competition for 2 years, won the comp twice and won everything in front of them, including the Asian Cup. So, there is some successes in there. But, Jesus, we've got a lot of headaches. That are going away. Brisbane's not going away. Perth's not going away. MacArthur's not going away. Western United come Friday. And I don't want to see them go. But as Angelo said earlier on, they've got to be sustainable. There's no point in keeping going if you're not sustainable. It's just throwing bad money after bad. They haven't pitched it. They haven't pitched it to, and I know we've got a guy who will probably be posting the life at this tonight.
Oh, well, that's he's waiting for you there now. Oh, my God.
Yeah, well, when we keep criticising Western United, it's not a criticism of Western United. It's a criticism of exactly what they should be doing, and we've said it a million times. The population base there, they should have pitched it at it. Now, if he's got a personal interest in there and his kids play, I get it. I understand the emotional content of that, and I get how people don't want to lose the clubs that they've invested time and money, and they could have a business involved with the club. I get all that, and I respect that. But the facts are that they won the league year one, and as Angela keeps saying, they never went anywhere after that. They never went to the Indian population. They never done anything to that ground. So, they're in a situation where, what do you expect? MacArthur, exactly the same. They brought nothing to the table across. And let's be clear on this. MacArthur and Western United got a payment plan for the licence from the FA. They were on a payaway. I don't even think they're fully paid for.
No, they haven't. They haven't. Can you phrase?
So they got every opportunity. I just want to see, like I said, the quick fix, and it's not a long-term solution. The quick fix would be to pick up 5 or 6 of the top NPL clubs, whether it be Brisbane, Melbourne, and Sydney, and plot these 6 teams into the A-League, and you'll get fresh games, fresh excitement. We've just mentioned that in the Australia Cup, Carlos mentioned how they've done really well, Heidelberg, etc. Well, we'll get that little bit of rush of blood, at least for a year or 2 years, and it'll give us time to regroup.
Yes.
And as I've said many times, we will always rise from the ashes, no matter what happens.
Exactly.
But the A-League and its structure ain't going to be around.
No.
It certainly ain't going to last as long as the NSL.
That's right.
No chance.
Angelo, what we talking about before you came back, we were talking about how we're talking about these dynamics of the promotion and relegation in NPL, Australia, all the NPL competitions. We're talking about the dynamics. It was fantastic. But this is what I just said to Kenny before you saying that we're talking about promotion relegation and how it would have fitted into the A-League. And of course, Kenny did say that the financial situation doesn't allow that at the moment, but as the NPL is so, to me, the NPL, the way they're structuring the NPL around Australia, it's sort of like it's where it should be in the national competition, but it can't be that way at the moment. Angelo?
Yeah, I think Kenny made some excellent points. We talk about sustainability and viability, right? Now, that the A-League has contracts, legal contracts, as Carlos can help us on this one, right? Every club, such as MacArthur, Western United, they came into the competitions. They have legal contracts that the fact that they can't kick them out of the league.
They can't do it.
If they kick them out of the league, those clubs can sue the APL or any organisation that puts them in, submission. So I think that's the problem with relegation and promotion, right? Because if a club such as Heidelberg or South Melbourne, or there is a merger between South Melbourne and Heidelberg, which I personally think will be very, very strong, you couldn't even apply to go into the competition because certain clubs that are weakened, like Western United and MacArthur, as Kenny mentioned, all the criteria they have failed. Now, just anybody that wants to come on the show to justify the submission they lodged with all the criterions that they were supposed to honour, and you have a look at those clubs, they have not grown.
No.
In their market, in those areas, they've done nothing for those markets, as MacArthur and so has Western United. Kenny mentioned many times that there's an Indian population there growing by the hour. Why not market yourself to those people? And you mentioned Sachul and Tendulkar, the cricketer.
Tendulkar,
yeah. There's so many things you can do in terms of marketing promotion, but it's a very sad day. But there's also legal strongholds on those clubs that were submitted and admitted to the A-League. They're getting. Western United's fallen over, so there's an opportunity to say goodbye. You've had your chance. Goodbye. I'm sorry. May God bless all of those people that put in the hours and efforts and contribution to have their club in the A-League. But really, at the end of the day, gentlemen, it has failed.
Well, Loui, next week you guys play them. I don't know what's going to happen there, whether they're going to fall down by Friday. And the connection between the MPL and the A-League, they're one company, aren't they? They're one company. Is that how it works? Because if they fall, so that means if they fall over before next week, you don't play them. Is that right?
That's right. Well,
So they-
because we played their under 23,
Yes.
and then you've got our under 23s played their under 21s. So
Okay.
they've got age restrictions, whereas our seniors don't have those age restrictions.
Okay.
So, and that's common sense, yeah. You think that'd be the case? They don't have a 20s, and so your senior program would probably collapse. There's no point if you're an academy and you don't have a senior license, so you could just. My thoughts are that the whole club would just collapse, and that's it. Because there's no point running a junior license if you don't have a senior makeup.
Okay. So
It just feasibly doesn't work. So technically, because your junior and your senior licenses are separate, they potentially could still run a junior program. But what's the point?
And the thing is, I do have some information. I have some information right now. Some stuff has come through, and I was told that they're going to be fine on Friday. We can only wait and see what happens on Friday, boys. That's all we can do. So I was told right now that there's going to be some information coming through on Friday. There's a court case for the taxation office as well, and then there's some other something else happening with the license, I've heard. So we can only wait and see. Like Angelo, I know we can talk about things about these clubs, but like maybe it's a band-aid fix for the future for it to go on and work. I don't know. That your opinion's different. I know that.
Yeah, but Harry, what are they fighting for? We've seen Adelaide United hand in the licence.
I know.
After they won the championship, they won the A-League in 2015, they handed in the licence. Perth Glory have handed in the licence. We've had other clubs that have handed in the licence. And we know that in New Zealand, one of the clubs fell over, if you remember. I know it's a bit of time ago, but we've got these situations. I mean, the APL has to be careful. These guys are going to court, right? Western United is going to court. What are they going to court for? To survive? Who's going to fund them? Is it going to be the Football Australia or the APL?
No, they're not getting money from
you need $50 million.
55.
So look, I don't know. I just think that this is going to be a disaster. Unfortunately, we're not being negative. We're just being factual. I think the club has had the opportunities. Now they haven't got the funds. The players will not get paid. Where are they going to get the money from? It's best if they just left aside and just go on with the next project and maybe take a few years to come back.
That's all we can say anyway. Carlos, your last say on the finals in New South Wales. You going to the games this week?
Well, it's Super Saturday. All games will be played at the same time this Saturday because there's relegation games, so it's Super Saturday. Well, I'm playing myself in the final, so I can't be two places at once.
Do you need Kenny to come along to help you out with coaching?
I try. I can't make the start. There's too many good players.
It's not the walk.
Look, what I've got to say.
Mate, you know what? Well done, mate. Really.
Yeah.
It's a great effort. Well done, mate.
We won.
Unbelievable.
It's great fun, and we welcome you back next year. But the last thing is, why do we need promotion and relegation? If you look at the AFL and NRL, they are successful in their own right without promotion and relegation. So why are we so hang up about promotion and relegation in Australian football? Look at the NRL and the AFL. I know they have history behind them, but the clubs, if properly run and managed, they will thrive. And look at anyway, that's my parting. The MLS doesn't have promotion relegation, and they thrive. So I think we need to also be in the devil's advocate. Yes, we have a thing called the tyranny of distance that other countries don't have.
That's the problem.
Wellington, Perth, 9-hour flight, the longest football flight in the world. to go to Perth to play.
Maybe it's best to go. What, Kenny? We've got to go in a few minutes, but let me just say one thing about this. Maybe it's time to go back to 2 conferences, Kenny. 2 conferences like they did in the NSL. Conferences on one side of Australia, conference on the other side. Make it easier. But it didn't work. It didn't work, did it? No.
Well, mate, that was the death knell of the NSL when that happened. That was 1984, mate, and it was the NSL from 77 to 83 was it was the only true national sport competition we had.
Yep.
Exactly. The NRL and the AFL were in.
Yes.
We were the only true national sporting competition, and these 6 seasons, mate, I was blessed and lucky enough to play in it, and mate, it was great. We hit 84 when they split it. It became glorified state competitions.
Okay. Angela's got a bit of a meeting.
I think Angelo's ordering his lunch there.
Guys. Louis,
can you order me a carbonara? Just give me a carbonara and some garlic bread.
I'm going to say one more to Louis. Louis, next week, how much support do we need out there if the game's out there at Western United? How many people can we get there? We can get a lot of people from Brunswick City. Have you spoken to everybody? Down there, it's a bloody big drive, but we got to get there because it's a massive game.
Big drive.
It's the biggest
big drive, Harry.
historical game for you guys. It's massive. It's massive.
It definitely is. It is a big game, and I think we'll get a lot of our local fans. I mean, we had just almost 400 this weekend.
Yes.
3 o'clock kickoff on Sunday, which is compared to our Friday nights, but it was a gorgeous day. On Sunday. So hopefully a lot of those fans come along and support us down there at Western.
All right, boys. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget next week.
Can I just say something quickly?
Yes.
It's off subject, but the young Arsenal lad that sort of made his debut the other day, and he came on. He got 23 minutes at the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
But he's 15. Now he can play in the Premier League, but he can't play in the Champions League because he got to 16.
Gee,
what that was. Yeah. Someone write this.
Harry, I better go. The birds are taking a shower.
Catch you, mate. Catch you, Angela. Catch you, Angela. No worries. But let me say. Now, I want to mention one thing before we go. Before Angela's gone. Next week we go to TV, guys. It's been a hard struggle. I've been just the first show's getting through, Loui. That's the show that we did the first show. It was a good show. We didn't want to waste that one. We're putting it as the first show next week on the 4th. Next week, the 4th. I've got that much editing to do. It's not funny because they pushed me here today, Channel 31. Here we go, late nights again. But anyway, that's the first show going on. So there you go. Congratulations, Lou. We've got the first show there. You guys will be able to watch it on the 24 apps as well. The CTV Plus app. You can watch it any time of the day as well too. So there you go. Done. And we hope we're getting good news next week as well too. That's what we want. Exactly.
Yeah. We are the good news channel.
Here we go. Carlos, I might have to. Well, anyways, TV from next week, Kenny. So be ready for the pre-recordings, mate. Right now, from now on.
All good, man.
All right, boys. Thank you for joining me tonight. Thank you, Louis.
See ya.
Thanks, boys. Thanks, boys, for joining me tonight on Football List. What a great show, Loui. Of course, thank you from Brunswick City. Good luck to everybody, guys. Of course, thank you, everybody, on Football List. Don't forget, we're going to TV next week. More information during the week. I tell you what, it's been a hard slog, but we've made it on TV. Don't forget, Football List is live 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. next week on Channel 31 Melbourne. Thanks for joining us, guys. Thank you. Here we go. So everything changes next week. Different people, different everything, different stories all over Melbourne, Australia as well. Here we go. Check it out. We're going TV, guys. Thank you. Hey! The cup of life. This is the one. Now is the time. Don't ever stop. We should have known. Gotta be strong. We should have known right from the top. And when you feel the heat, the world is at your feet. No one can hold you back if you really want it, Brunswick City. I see it in your eyes. You want the cup of life. Not the days here you really want it. Thanks, guys, for joining me. See you next week on TV, guys. Channel 31. Thank you, guys. Thank you.